It's online.
Good. Whole world's watching?
Yeah. I'm about to text my mom.
All right, let me get started.
Go ahead, practice. We're just gonna wait till next. Push the button. Ready? Okay. Coach, if you want to start out with an opening statement, open it up with questions.
Well, it's the long-awaited season is finally upon us. We're excited to get started on Thursday. Anxious to see our football team play. They've been beating on each other for the last 3.5 weeks and have done a great job of that. And I love the maturity of this football team, their attention to detail, and their preparation has been outstanding since the day we reported to camp on August the 2nd. So I'm very excited to get the season started on Thursday night at 7:05.
So how true is it that guys get sick and tired of hitting each other in training camp? Eager to see a different uniform?
Well, when you're out there hitting each other, it's you're trying to, obviously be physical and prepare yourself for a game-like situation. But then again, it's your teammates out there. It's it's your family. You can't really take them out. You need them for the game to win. So it gets pretty exhausting. Not doing the natural thing of laying into somebody, taking them out. So it's pretty frustrating after a while. It's pretty exciting that we get to finally take on another opponent.
Brian, you're 3 years here. It's been 5 and 7 seasons every time. What's different about this year's squad that will be different?
I believe, everyone's more focused this year. Last year was a buy-in year, really, for the coaches, and everyone's on board. And I believe that this year is going to be a standout year for us as far as everyone's on board, like I said. And I've never, since I've been here, been around a program like this. It's really exciting.
If you had to say something for the fans, specifically the student body, what would you tell them? What's going to be different from last year to this year?
Big plays. We got a lot of good players coming back. Our running backs are really good. Drew Archer's back this year. He's a really explosive player. He's probably the fastest kid I've ever played with. Trayon Durham, he's a really good back. We have 2 great quarterbacks. It's just going to be a big season.
Rosie, what would you say to the fans?
Say, come on out, get a show. They new to the school, so they don't have nothing but school spirit. So hopefully we keep it going.
Coach, is Tyshawn Good going to be healthy for this game?
It does not look like Tyshawn will make the bell for the first contest. We're going to be smart about that. The hamstring is coming along. He's making significant progress, but he's not going to be ready for Thursday night. So we'll keep him for the second week.
Are you pretty sure that he'll be back for Kentucky, or is it still?
I'd say it's probably a great chance that he will be back for the Kentucky game. Yeah.
Brian, you touched on the idea of buying in. Do you have a sense of when that happened last year, when it finally happened?
As you can see by our record, it was more towards the end of the season when we started winning those games. Everyone was tired of the old attitude and how we played from before. But I feel like since the half of the season, everyone feels a lot more confident.
Rosie, talking with Coach the other day, he said that you kind of talked to him about this being, you're feeling a little different this year. Kind of a lookout idea. Talk about where you are this year compared to the last two.
For the team?
Just you personally.
Oh.
Breakout.
I always play my hardest, give my hardest. Last year, my foot, my toe, but I don't like to dwell on the past. And last year was last year. This year is a whole new year. I'm back, team's back, defense is back. We're all ready to go.
How much pressure is this with this first game? It's not Division I. It's a Division I AA opponent, and it's a home opener. It's the first of the new fans are going to see if you guys has anyone win the home opener. And you guys are saying this is a different team than your 5 and 7 teams of the past 3 years. So how much pressure it is to win this first one?
Well, the first one's it's critically important for the program, but in this sport, football, you only get 12 guaranteed opportunities to play, so every game is critical. But this game on Thursday night's huge because I think if we play the way I think we're capable of playing and do all the things we're capable of doing, this game could vault us into another level. It doesn't matter who the opponent is per se, and that's no disrespect to Towson, but I just think this first game is critical for the success of our season right now.
You know, more like as a mental state, like you said to start off on the winning note, like Brian said, taking so long to buy in. If the win would have happened earlier on in the year, that might have happened sooner. Is it that kind of concept?
Absolutely. I think it's all mental, but we all know that that's huge when you're dealing with such a short season, that to get started on the right foot and do all the things that you need to do, this will be a big one for us.
Are you also really anxious because as much as you can see them in practice, like he said, that they're still holding back a little bit, you're still not, do you know what you think you have, but is it like you don't exhale until you see that first game and really see it in action?
Well, you try to be a little bit clairvoyant and see them already making plays, which you can, and you see on both sides of the ball, the special team, you see kind of things already unfold, but until you actually see it, you're still a little bit reserved.
Mean anything to you guys that the last championship team will be here, 1972 championship team? And when you put in perspective that it's been 40 years, were all your parents even born 40 years ago?
It's gonna be really cool. You know, my dad actually knows a good amount of players that were on that team, and he's really excited for that. They're all excited too. You know, he's been talking to them, and they're really excited to come back to, you know, be around Kent State because they know, you know, this year is going to be a big year for us, and it's going to be really exciting.
Has anybody gotten a word on Lambert?
Well, we heard a little bit, but not 100% certain. But that would be awesome for him to show up, and if he could spend 5 minutes with our team, that would be. We have an award named after him, the Jack Lambert Hit of the Week, that we give out every week. That would be awesome for him to step into the room and just greet the team for 5 minutes and share some old Kent State stories.
Who won the award last time?
Well, it's given every week, so there's probably 12 different winners or multiple winners.
The season started?
You know, it's based on the biggest hit throughout the course of that game. Did you ever win it, Luke?
I don't remember. I'm not too sure.
I can't remember neither.
It was a year ago.
Coach, what are your memories of Lambert? You grew up in that era.
Well, I was a Cowboys fan, and all I remember is Lambert just going through the Cowboys every weekend. They seemed like when they played, but he's a great player. I mean, unbelievably intense. You could tell that he prepared like crazy and just played with a passion about him.
Coach, Trey Archer and Darrell are the two feature backs. Are they going to split time, or is one going to get more load than the other?
Treyon will carry the bulk of the carries out of the backfield. We have mandated that Dree get X amount of carries, but Dree will operate out of the slot as Treyon's in the backfield, but then we'll give Treyon a blow and put Dree in the backfield because he's, as Brian alluded to earlier, he's dynamic with the football in his hands, and we got to make sure he gets his touches because a lot of good things will happen.
How is he with catching the ball?
Excellent, but he's better with his back facing our offense than to the defense. So when he's facing forward, he's pretty good.
What stuff do you have available with both of them in the backfield together?
We have enough.
What do you like about that idea, though, of them being in at the same time?
Well, it creates a personnel matchup problem for the defense. To be able to utilize those two and do different things, and I don't want to tip my hand, but to have those two guys that are both weapons that can hurt you, it's a problem.
How does Treyon come on the second year now that you know? Where is he now compared to last year?
to me, he's a completely different player right now. He's playing with so much confidence. He's seeing things so much better. I've never been around a young back who knows protections as well as he does. It's it's the way he prepares and picking up blitzes and releasing into routes. I'm very pleased as to where he is right now. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year for us.
Looks like on the defensive side of the ball, Calvin Tickle is going to get more chance to play. Just can you talk about how he's looked this summer and how he's going to prepare for the season?
Yeah, Calvin had a little bit of a hamstring problem, but he's come back nicely from that. He's just a smart player and gets guys lined up, and he's got playmaking ability, and that's one thing you like about Calvin.
Could the players just kind of give an idea of what you've seen from Towson on film?
Oh, Towson is, definitely a great team. They do a lot of different things as far as offense. They got a lot of different formations and a lot of different plays. They got a lot of good players that transferred in from other bigger schools, some will say. But, just they're not someone you just can look over for this season.
What do you see in that running back, a little freshman?
You asked me his name. You asked me too quick. I can't remember his name. But
what's he like?
Oh, he's a great athlete. I see him on film. He's missing tackles. He's making people miss. We definitely got to be prepared and keep an eye out for him throughout the game.
Brian, what does their defense do?
Their defense, they're pretty stout. Like Rosie said, they have some transfer players that came in from what people say bigger schools. But other than that, it's a basic defense. I think that we should be able to move the ball on them. They are a great team. We can't overlook them either. So.
All around, they're a good team, solid team. Work really hard. They're very energetic out there on the field, and I think they're 1 or 5 seed or something like that in Division I AA. So that's obviously nothing to overlook at all. They're gonna come to play. So we gotta bring our A game.
Coach, could you break down that?
Absolutely. Very good quarterback, takes care of the ball. Their running back, I think, is really good. He's a 6 foot, 5'11", 222-pound guy that makes guys miss. He's got top-end speed. He's powerful. I thought their offensive line did a nice job last year. There were a bunch of sophomores that are juniors now. They lose one of those guys. On the defensive side, I think they're stout up front. But I think where they present some issues is in their back end. They got some very good defensive backs, and they do a nice job of disguising coverage, and they're always running to a different coverage on the snap of the play. And we got to do a good job as a quarterback and a receiver to make sure we're seeing post-snap coverage so we don't throw some balls into rolled-up coverage or guys rotating into a different zone. So we got to do a good job. I think they do a nice job, coaching staff. You got to remember, this team 3 years ago won 1 game. 2 years ago they won 2 games, and then they came back and won 9 games. So they're doing a nice job. Coach Ambrose out there is doing an excellent job of getting these guys ready to play. And they play with, if you watch the tape, their energy screams off the film. They're playing with tremendous energy and guys running around and patting each other on the back, and they feed off of each other. So we got to do a good job. I think it's very important for our football team to get a great start in the football game. So I think that's very important for us.
Coach, you guys were in the bottom last year in the MAC in passing and rushing. You guys are saying you're going to go for the big play a little bit more. What else offensively have you guys improved on?
Well, we're so much better up front right now than we were last year across the board, which allows you to run the backs and get 8-man fronts and 9-man fronts, and then you can play action pass off of those things. But these guys, the offensive line has done a great job protecting the quarterback. If you watch them, they're doing an excellent job picking up the blitz, and I just feel like we're so much more in accord right now than we were at any point in time last year up front. That's where it all starts, both sides of the ball.
It's an odd season with so few home games. Get this one out, get 4 home,
Yeah.
7 road the rest of the way. How
Yeah.
important is? You talked just about that, and then also how important this is to get the home games.
Yeah, it's time is ticking for our seniors. They only get out to run out of that tunnel 5 more times, and every one is big. So, we go on the road 7 times this year. If we're fortunate, we'll be able to go on more. But every single game, like I mentioned earlier, is so important when you're only playing 12.
On the conference call, you revealed who the plan was going to be. Could you talk a little bit about Anthony and that battle and how it came down kind of to the wire?
Yes, we decided this morning, had them both in the office this morning to bring the punters in. We decided to go with Anthony Melchiori as our punter. He'll open up the game for us on Thursday. I told Andrew Horning to be ready at any point in time. He'll still do our holding. But we thought that just the consistency level throughout camp is the reason we made that decision. I feel very good about both of them. It would not be you may see them both on Thursday night. That would not be uncommon. So we'll see.
How much faster? What is an operation time for a punter? What do you want?
We'd like to get it off at 195, somewhere around there.
What is he?
Who's that?
Melchiori, where is he?
He's right around there, probably a little bit higher than that. But
Where was he when you were really?
he was pretty close to 2. And that's the concern with him. Is his tempo. He's got a big leg, but we need to get the ball punted. And obviously, Andrew's time is pretty good. We wanted him to be a little bit more consistent.
Do you trick that up, moving back a little further and that kind of thing?
No, because that'll screw with the protection a little bit if you start moving him around, because the angles change, drop angles change of the guys blocking. So we won't mess with his alignment at all. No. We just got to keep encouraging to kick the ball. He has a tendency to turn the ball, look at the laces, but he'll get better as we go along.
How fast can he? I mean, that's hard to adjust when you've been doing it one way your whole life.
Well, he'll understand once he gets on a college field how fast guys are. And that's the huge difference from college to high school, is the speed of the game. And guys come at you pretty fast. And if you don't get that corrected, we'll get them blocked. So
Last year, Adiemi came in. He was going to be like the big threat on special teams. It really didn't pan out that much last year. He's going to be, again, on special teams this year. How's Adiemi improved?
Adiemi, the last 10 days has been outstanding. And I was very concerned with him early in camp, but he has really made some huge strides here in the last 7 to 10 days. And he was just in my office, and we just talked about that. I said, I don't know what it was and what hit your switch, but I like who you are now as opposed to where you were 2.5 weeks ago. And look to see more playing time as a wide receiver from him, but he'll do a nice job of returning punts and kicks for us as well.
What's the difference between 2 weeks ago and now?
Oh, he's playing with a lot more energy. You can see there's a passion there for him. It's important. It looks to be more important to him, and he's making plays for us.
Do you have Dree listed number 1 at return right now? Would you
Kick or punt?
punt?
No, Dree's going to take probably every 3rd to 4th punt for us. Adiemi will take probably a 3-to-1 ratio to Dree.
What about kickoffs? What tandem are you going to have?
Well, we have a number issue. Ideally, you like to get Dree and Polk out there, but they're wearing the same number, and that's a penalty. So we'll put Eric out there first with Polk, and then we'll rotate Dree in there as well, taking Polk out.
How does that go during the course of the game when they both got to, obviously they can't both be in there with the same number, but when they're both playing the same, theoretically the same position with the same number, how do you?
Which two?
Dree and Polk.
On kick returns?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be aware as a coaching staff, and we have all their numbers written down on our depth chart, and we have a guy in the booth checking to see if we have duplicate numbers on the field. Because if that happens, that's
I follow that part of it. I mean, in terms of number 1, Polk goes out there. Does he go out there and identify for kickoff? Kickoff return.
Mm-hmm.
Does he identify himself as a defensive player?
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to identify yourself. No, he just runs out there. If there's one of those jersey numbers, he can go. Yeah.
Why not just change it?
Change the number
Neither wants to.
Absolutely not.
until you get the first one.
right?
If it were to get to that point where you put both out there, you got a flat jersey or something?
We don't, but we probably should have, because if a game's on the line, you want to do whatever you have to do to win the football game. And you would want, if those are our two best returners, you would want both of those guys out there at the one point in time. But you would have to change, you have to put a different number on.
You can do that on the fly.
I think you can, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just for that instance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Back in the 2010 season, Rosie stepped up, and in 2011, CJ Malulu stepped up. Out of all the new players coming in, who should we be on the look for to step up?
Well, we got a lot of good young players, I think, that will shine. I'd say on the defensive side, look to see Keaton Stalls in the back end. Up front, Chris Fairchild. At the second level, Matt Dellinger. Those are three players that jump out to me as some young guys on the defensive side. Obviously, the punter, Malchiori. Offensively, I'm not sure if there's going to be anyone to surface quite so early.
You mentioned Durden.
Oh, excuse me, you're right. Julian Durden's a guy that's very explosive, and we're going to try to manufacture 3 to 5 carries for him on Thursday night.
Coach was saying Durham is picking up his game, blocking in the backfield. What does that mean to the offensive line?
It's a great help. When they know their assignments, it takes a lot of stress off us. There's some protections that he's in, and there's some that he's not. But when he's in, he's a big part of that.
Take a lot of pressure off you.
Yeah, it does.
Is that just a function of him maturing? Like, you don't expect the young guys to come in and know all that right away? Or is that something you should have picked up?
Some guys pick it up fast. Some guys it takes a little bit longer. Some guys are just naturally smarter at, just the football intelligence. But for him, I think he's worked at it, and he has the football intelligence. So that's.
I'm sorry, was that like his number one thing in the offseason to do, is to understand the protection?
I don't know. I don't know if that was his number one thing to do, or if becoming a leaner, stronger guy was his top priority. But whatever he's accomplished both.
Where is he at now?
Weight-wise, he's probably 247, but he's a much better looking 247. He's actually got some triceps now, and so it'll be good to see him finish some runs.
Does his bulk help with the protection as well? Is that one of the things that gives him an advantage over the other backs?
Yeah, he's bigger than most linebackers running through.
What's his speed at?
I don't know what his top end speed is, but he's probably a 30 to 40 yard back at this level. He'll be able to take it that far.
Coach, just to clarify, Sid Dree as a returner, you want it one out of every 3 or 4. Is that just to keep him fresh, or is that you want to get both guys?
Some experience. It's more for the experience part. I think Eric will do a good job. It depends on how much Eric is playing at wideout, which we plan on playing him quite a bit. But you'd like to have fresh guys catching punts, for sure.
And the vote, was it just the entire coaching staff vote
On the punter?
Yeah.
No.
Just,
The guys that were involved in that special teams.
questions?
Thank you.